Hi there, folks. Galen here, along with Matt Zimmerman for IUSportCom, and we are here at a very empty Mackey Arena after a pretty impressive win for Indiana University as they knock off the Purdue Boilermakers 78-61, a 17-point victory for this Indiana team. And, you know, Matt, we kind of saw early on in this contest how this IU team came out with a lot of momentum, came out with a lot of energy, and it was really a surprise given how poorly they came out against Michigan. And I think what was even more surprising is how well they were able to maintain that energy throughout the course of the game.
Not only maintain that energy throughout the course of the game, but also maintain it in the face of a very physical game. As Tom Crean just said down there in the press conference, it was not for the faint of heart under the basket. And there were a lot of whistles. It was difficult for either team to gain a lot of momentum, but the Hoosiers, in a hostile environment, really fought through it. They did a great job tonight.
For Indiana, the big story as far as starters, obviously Verdell Jones out of this contest, still suffering the effects of the concussion he suffered, or concussion-like symptoms in that Michigan game.
Right.
Victor Oladipo, who was banished from the starting lineup in the last contest, really showed up in this contest. 6 for 14 from the field, 10 for 12 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 23 points overall in 30 minutes of play. And as far as energy was concerned, this was the Victor Oladipo that was around during the Kentucky game, the Ohio State game. This was the guy everybody was wondering what happened to.
And it wasn't even just the stat sheet. How many key plays did he have tonight? How many steals? But how many big shots? How many great defensive plays? But the thing that made it look like Victor's game was going to be great tonight was that dunk in the first couple minutes.
Yep.
After that, you could just see that guy. He wanted to play like a world leader. He had his opportunity in there for Verdell Jones, and he played his lights out tonight.
Remy Abel, another huge story for this IU team, didn't start, but played a very effective 19 minutes for this team, was 5 for 6 from the field, 13 points, 4 rebounds, seemed to be everywhere that IU needed him, and took care of the basketball incredibly well. I mean, we've seen a lot of trouble from this guard core for IU. Jordan Hull's having trouble with passing and dribbling. Verdell Jones, obviously. We saw none of that from Abel. He looked not like a freshman, but like a guy who should be averaging probably more minutes than he got tonight.
Absolutely. The upperclassmen haven't exactly been showing a lot of poise with the basketball late in close games, especially on the road. Abel was amazing tonight, leading 67-61, just more than a minute to go. He hits the dagger in the corner, the three-pointer that made it 70-61 and emptied this place out. He was amazing tonight.
For Purdue, this loss drops them to 5-5 on the season, 15-8 overall. For Indiana, 18-6 now, only 2 wins away from 20. And 6-6 in the conference. We talked before this week began about how important it would be to at least get a split in these 2 road games. Now they've got that. Now they have 6 games left in this season, in the Big Ten Conference season, and they're at 500, and they get 4 of their next 6 games in conference at home. How well do you think this IU team is set up moving forward?
Very well set up. Obviously, they still have to play at Iowa, at Minnesota. Minnesota's been a house of horrors for the Indiana Hoosiers since the 1990s. Michigan State's going to be a very tough out, even Assembly Hall. At the same time, this team is obviously going to win 20 games. They will obviously be in the NCAA tournament. Despite the machinations of Ted Valentine tonight, this ended up being a very big win for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Valentine definitely got under everybody's skin tonight, not the least of which was the Purdue crowd, who really came unhinged at the officiating. And it was bad all around. I mean, I'll say that. I mean, there was not much contact being called down low. But Hoosiers come out of this with a huge victory, their first win over Purdue since 2008, their first win here in Mackey since 2006, and the first win on the road in the Big Ten by a Tom Crean coach team against someone not named Penn State. So we're still in the P's when it comes to road victories, but a good step, and if you're going to win on the road, this is a team you want to beat if you're coaching in Indiana.
Well, and for the rest of the season, I guess we'll have to call them, they play at Iowa and Minnesota. that might help our team's confidence a little bit.
That's really terrible. I hope you never say that again.
I will never say that again.
Anyway.
But again, a huge win for the Indiana Hoosiers tonight. They had their chance to blow it. Again, late in the game, they were up by 4. What was it, 54-50 or 56-52?
Yep.
Purdue gets a steal, and it looked like a classic IU loss under Crean on the road, like the Nebraska game.
Yep.
Purdue goes down. Will Sheehy comes out of nowhere to make the block. The ball goes off to the side. Watford grabs it. He gets hacked to hell. Makes both free throws. It was just it was similar to the NC State game earlier this year, where it was just kind of a moment when you see, okay, they turned a bit of a corner there.
we've seen them lack poise against Nebraska down the stretch, against Wisconsin, and last year quite a bit as well.
Yes.
This was a really poised ending for this IU team, and they definitely have some building blocks moving forward. Anyway, again, final score 78-61. Indiana wins 18-6 on the season, 6-6 in conference, and they will be in action on Thursday of next week as they take on Illinois. For Matt Zimmerman, I'm Galen Clavio for IUSportCom. We'll catch you on the flip side.